as we run down the last day of league play for the European region. Let's go ahead and get into this next match between Excel and MOCKIT. With the commentary is Shogun and Lawler. Take it away, guys.
Indeed, Excel will not give up their chase just yet. If they can get themselves a solid win here, then they can set up a blockbuster showdown between themselves and Method, which will close out today's show. But, Lawler, what do you think they're going to do to get there?
A lot of it is just going to come down to the offense. Both these teams are actually pretty similar on the defensive side when it comes to goals and shots and everything else. That's where you start to see a mix-up, and a lot of it is due to those two players they were talking about on the desk, Fairy Peak and Niels Cook. Niels Cook all over the stat board, but a lot of it has to do with his goal participation as well and his team participation all around. He is the player that kind of matches Fairy Peak in that sense, where they're both hovering around that 75% area. So it's going to be who does it better, and in my opinion, it's probably going to be Niels Cook.
Oh, okay. Little cheeky prediction there from Lawler.
Yeah.
But it's going to be a very solid session indeed. And when we came down to doing our predictions earlier on, a lot of people kind of 50-50 on this one. The prediction thing that I put out had it about 60-40 on the side of Excel. So pretty close, a lot closer than a lot of the ones. Trust me, I've seen like some 97 threes.
Yeah,
they've been a little bit brutal at times out there, but this is a game that MOCKIT can clearly take, and it'll be an opportunity for them to really start proving just how solid they can be heading into next week's championship tournament, which they have already qualified for. And like James Ross said, they can chill out at the moment. They can relax and just play the game that they want to play.
The other benefit for MOCKIT too is obviously they've already guaranteed their spot at the top 6, but at the same time, depending on how seeding goes, we may actually see a repeat of this matchup next week.
Certainly could do. There's a lot of scouting opportunities here for both of these teams. There's a high percentage that they could play against each other. 2 players committed there from MOCKIT. And there's going to be the lofted shot. Niels Cook really aiming for that goal scorer of the season.
Well, a lot of it just has to do with that double commit on defense. Not sure who wants to clear it out. You see one player in the back just bump into the other instead of the ball. And just Niels Cook taking his time despite being in a situation where he knows the goal's there. He has the opportunity to score, slows it down, takes his time, just pops it over the top.
Niels Cook once again going to be the player that needs to play around. It's MOCKIT trying to retaliate, and they have done so almost immediately. Their follow-up is not quite there. Freaky darts straight past the ball. And that was an opportunity to tie this one up almost immediately, but MOCKIT unable to take it, still on the offensive end. But they are currently boost grabbing. Pass over to middle, Fairy to Pashy, Pashy to Fairy. And immediately challenged. Freaky tries to put that one strong net. There's going to be 2 players around. Zenzus going to pick himself up to save and tries to take him straight pass. Immediately putting players in that midfield area. Niels Cook does get beaked. There is no one back, and this just needs to go on target. Oh no, Zenzus is just going to turn up at the last possible moment. MOCKIT having serious disagreements against that crossbar right now. Opponent flicks it past 1, got it past 2, flicks it past, oh, just can't get past Fairy Peak.
A lot different story other than the first couple of seconds. That mistake coming up from MOCKIT, but after that, it's been all MOCKIT on offense. A lot of aggression and nobody back in net, just working well together, but not able to put it back inside. Gonna clear immediately down to the other side. Zenzus trying to go for a shot, but met by the defense.
Some of the Excel are doing so well all seasons is the ability to break down their offense at any time, really break down the rotation and just offer themselves some new options by giving players left and right that can potentially be passed to. This will be the long shot straight down to the middle, but Ponex will easily cover that one. MOCKIT need to get themselves closer to the net and get some passes going if they want to have any chance of breaking down Excel. They are currently on the offensive end. They're going to try and put pressure forward and get themselves the brace. That just make this match a little bit more comfortable for them. This is going to go down to the far end, but these long balls still every time being picked up by Excel, but the opportunities just keep swarming now for MOCKIT. So I want to get something going, but Fairy Peak have to continue looking around that midfield area as Freaky had to rotate back due to low boost.
Pashy also had the right idea there. Got the boost tonight up in the corner, but then when he played it horizontally off the wall and not back towards his own teammates. Because of that, no one was willing to come up and contest it. Threw away possession. Now it's offense for Excel.
Still a lack of options. There's going to be off the backboard. Follow-up is not quite there, and now it's a 3v1. The ball played straight into the body of Ponex. That was a missed opportunity there for MOCKIT. They got an opportunity, though, to create a new one. Niels Cook now off the wall, looking to play into middle, over to Zenzus. really been having a breakout season for himself. Looked like he was always going to be playing second fiddle to Niels Cook, but has really stepped into his own spotlight.
Yeah, it's interesting how these support players have really kind of formed their own way. You can definitely see Pondex being that last man back for a majority of the series already. He's there to buy some time, clear it out, or assert dominance when he needs to, despite getting demoed for it.
It's actually kind of what I've liked. I think they've moved Pondex to take Zenzus' old position. And Zenzus just looks so much more comfortable with it. And I agree with it entirely. Pondex is a player that you just know is not going to make mistakes. But Zenzus on that back line gets there just in time to try and clean up Niels Cook's mistake. So now Niels Cook will try and make it up with a shot on target. Going to keep the pressure going. Read the play very well to immediately go from shot onto the wall. And now Excel could reap the benefits. Pondex does get beat to the ball by Fairy Peak with 1 minute 10 remaining. MOCKIT still yet to create any real offensive opportunities for themselves.
You mentioned it there a little bit ago. Neil's decision-making has been pretty dang solid so far this series. Not only in his challenges, but just his decision-making to not go for challenges. Saw him earlier, he backed off, got the boost denied instead, but a pass down and set up by Zenzus. Moving up in that Pondex spot you mentioned, and it's paying off, the 1-2 combo.
Yeah, it's been that sidewall. Fairy Peak confused himself, and that puts Pashi in such a bad position. He's got to try and play the shot, but instead the pass, it just comes out, and honestly, no one would have expected it apart from Niels Cook, who was in the perfect position.
Zenzus probably should have got that one on his own, but it does not matter, and this is the Excel team starting to get comfortable and really putting them away.
This game has gone from being incredibly close to, well, all you've got to do is read the calculator. Easy for Excel right now. Currently got themselves 3 goals up, 50 seconds remaining, and MOCKIT still chasing their first real offensive opportunity ever since they forced the save out from Zenzus.
It's one of those things that it starts to go into a domino effect. You saw Fairy Peak cheat up on that kickoff as well. Just gets beat out to the corner, and unfortunately for him, just goes right around as the ball's going to be lofted right up in the middle, played off, trying to go for a double tap is freaky, but a good save by Zenzus to put that out into the middle. Shot immediately after from Fairy Peak, just not able to find it at the back of the net with 25 seconds left here in game number 1.
It really has been the problem for MOCKIT so far. They're taking shots. Oh, wow. But most of them in the middle, and finally one finds a way of sneaking through.
A lot of it just has to do with that one mistake from Pondex, trying to clear that. Hits the top side on the side of his car as he's rotating across, and it pops straight up. Lose an opportunity for this MOCKIT squad, and they put one in the back of the net.
19 seconds remaining, 2 goals separating these squads in our opening matchup of this best-of-5 series. Zenzus now plays it straight into the middle. Freaky looking for Pashi, Pashi looking for Freaky, Freaky looking for Wall, and Niels Cook looking just to get it out of there.
A lot of people doing some looking.
Oh, they're looking their way around, okay? Can't do ball cam all the time. Oh, Zenzus!
Ooh, that's
highlight
pretty.
real play.
I want to watch this one.
Just
does he do it from the beginning? Yeah, there we go. That's at least 2.5 spin-a-roonies.
That was at least 2 spins too many. Either way, good way of Excel washing the taste out of conceding lately. And I'll tell you what, we're going to go very quickly straight into looking at that goal yet again, just because of how pretty it was. Let's take another look. See Niels Cook with a pass up, and here is Zenzus. This is where he's been all season. He has very little boost when he goes up as well, and he still makes it count.
It's a lot more difficult than it looks, too, because as he's rotating like that, he's got to feather that little amount of boost just to make sure he keeps that projection going the same way. I mean, he doesn't give himself much time, and obviously in that situation, like, they've already won, so why not go for it? And looks good.
So, Excel taking the opening win, looking to try and dash the hopes of Gale Force and set themselves up for a clash with Method later on today, which would be absolutely insane. But they've currently got to get past this MOCKIT brick wall to speak of, but whilst the offense has kind of been there for MOCKIT, and I do say kind of, they need to start getting these shots a little bit closer to the net. Hitting it off the halfway line will not be good enough.
No, a lot of it actually has just been stopped out by Excel in the first place. The only time they do score is off that mistake from Pondex. So the midfield has been in primarily control just simply from Pondex and Zenzus being not afraid to move up. You know, as you see Niels Cook just shadowing whatever situation and then, you know, calculating off the top of that. But a lot of it just has to do with the opportunities that the team's creating off of pure pressure. They're not afraid to go up and contest or assert that dominance, and it's paying off. This MOCKIT team is playing reactionary to everything, and they're just getting beat out for it. We saw a prime example of that when Pashi was sitting in net, and he's like, all right, I'm going to sit and wait for Zenzus to do something. oh crap, it's a pass, and there's nothing he can do.
So there are definitely changes to make. Will they make them though? Game number 2 between Excel and MOCKIT. As MOCKIT going to immediately try and put the offensive pressure forward. Zenzus with a mistake, but nobody on MOCKIT expecting it. Can't rotate themselves in time. Pashi looking for Ferry. Good cutting infield pass. There's going to be opportunity from the setup over to Freaky, and they hit the crossbar. Okay, there's going to be some serious arguments at this rate. They keep hitting that crossbar. Just need to aim it that little bit lower.
Difficult too, because that second touch was available, just running out of boost. Hands out from that situation, but hesitating no time whatsoever, just able to play it right back in the face of MOCKIT. But plenty of players in defense, one getting demoed out as it's going to settle down, and Passion just throws away possession again.
I think they're just trying to look for Excel to make a mistake, but Excel are controlling the ball ever so well in their defensive end. Just take control, take a player out, go for the pass, as we see literally a picture-perfect representation as I was trying to explain it.
I mean, redeeming quality, he did get a boost out of that from Pashi. It just doesn't matter if you're throwing away possession, they just bring it right past you.
Pashi trying to clear it away, but it's only going to pass over to Pondex.
Actually got a second touch on that too to play it down even more.
Pashi does get the block for Zenzus. Over to Pone. Pone with the doink. Go over to the corner now. Niels Cook with the control, but he didn't bring anyone out. I think he wanted to pop that over the top of a MOCKIT challenger who just sat on the goal line. Just, nah, we're not moving. Bring the ball to us.
Zen getting creative going backwards on that one too.
Pashi now off that sidewall. Can try and go for the carry. He's going to go from the sidewall to the ceiling and couldn't quite land the wheels. Almost something incredible. The idea, fantastic. The execution, try again.
Less fantastic.
Zenzus now plays into the corner. It's going to be Freaky. Trying to pass that one straight out, but unfortunately it is not going to get past the Excel defense as MOCKIT now up in the air. But Niels Cook will happily take over, looking for the pass over to Pone on the sidewall, who plays it straight back up to the middle. I'm surprised MOCKIT don't have someone running onto the ball to play it straight back in, but instead going to play with the 1-2. Back over, here comes Zenzus. He can go for the setup. He's got Pondex to aim for, does go past Pone, but Niels Cook shadowing just behind, so 2 options to take the shot. There's now MOCKIT with their opportunity. Good passing opportunity. Just couldn't find their way past. Both these teams doing a great job of reading the play before it even happens and getting the interception.
Pondex has also done a really good job with his awareness in this situation where he does recognize that he's going to land in front of that ball. So instead of trying to force a shot or anything, he gets behind it and just pops it up a little bit, like a scooping action, just to give it a chance, an opportunity to his teammate who's following close behind.
Return to the midfield war between these two teams. Both starting to struggle off that backboard. Want to see a little bit more control as Pondex tries to just power the ball into the upper 90, but couldn't quite get there in time. Niels Cook and the rest of the team going to control the midfield yet again, taking the midfield boost as well. Zenzus pushing it straight back over to Freaky over in the corner. Both these teams just starting to look a little bit more tentative, going for the 2-1 rotation, only sending 1 player forward. As now MOCKIT could possibly take advantage of that awkward bounce. Here's Zenzus. He's going to save, but MOCKIT continue to take shots. Want to try and break down this defense. Here comes Pashi. There's no one in net. And MOCKIT finally pick up a goal.
3.5 minutes of gameplay, finally able to get one in, and again, just not able to get those backboard hits, but it is forcing those defenders up with them. They have to respect those shots. They cannot leave them open for free. And eventually that one finally forces up, leaves a wide open net. MOCKIT on top, 1.5 minutes left in game number 2.
Can Excel respond quickly? They would like to do so, as Pondex couldn't quite get the contact that he did want, but he has got the boost steal as well. So Pashi has to play this with 10 boost. How far can he go? Pondex just decides to play the man anyway, goes all the way back before playing up the wall. Zenzus up high. Pondex does miss. Very peak now off the backboard, is going to bounce straight down. But Zenzus gets there before the oncoming charging bull of Pashi got there in time. Pone does get beat. That's going to be awkward to deal with. Zenzus just sits there and has to watch, and Pashi will pick up the 2nd goal.
As Zenzus is rotating back, he had plenty of boost in around 45. It just, as he's moving up, it catches him off guard because it was played right back at where he was coming from. Now able to hit the brakes and turn around in time, and then it just bounces awkwardly off that top right post. Fortunate for him, but with 15 seconds left, there's still plenty of time. Just need to put it within 1 so they can play to that 0-second time at the end of the match.
MOCKIT just have to hold on to this for the time being. Excel, every loss is important to their chances of getting top 2.
Can only allow 1.
Only allow 1, and if it continues like this, this will be the one. Unless they can find 2 goals within the next 25 seconds. Unfortunately, they're still going to get this out of their defensive side. But MOCKIT will not allow that to happen. One of the best teams, they're closing out from a winning position. Even better when they are 2 goals up. And with 13 seconds remaining, it does look like they are going to manage it, especially now Pashy taking another shot. Goes for the follow-up, does put it in.
Not leaving it up to that backboard that time. No troubles whatsoever at Pashy. Just plenty of mistakes coming out left and right. Just someone needs to push that forward. They're just trying to bait something out, trying to win a 50-50, but Pashy says the heck with that. Sweeps in, puts it in hard, and then the double tap off the back.
Hat-trick hero for Pashy has not missed a shot all game. And that will be the difference maker. His name is Pashy, but for MOCKIT, they will take this second game, tie up the series, and it is now all to do for Excel.
Demanding fashion as well. Good way to bounce back for this MOCKIT squad. A lot of it having to do with all 3 players being involved, but none more important than Pashy, that captain.
They're still going. They refuse to put this one down, and there's an opportunity. He almost goes in.
Trying to show they can freestyle it too at the end, I guess.
MOCKIT taking game number 2. Pashy having a breakout performance for himself. Well played on the shooting end. I mean, it was a pretty quiet game up until the point that MOCKIT did take that opening goal, at which point the floodgates did open. Excel, it's now all to do.
Yeah, a lot of it, as we mentioned though, and in these situations that this Excel team needs to not only get a win against their match later in the day against Method, but for this series alone, they have to get at least 3-1. It's the only way they can get the tiebreaker situation. So they gave up that one game. They now have to win out the rest. Otherwise, they're out of it. They're probably going to end up playing this team next week.
And MOCKIT would love to be party poopers right now and just say, right, we can do it.
Every party has one, man. Every party has one. And usually it's you.
It's definitely me. I am far too... The lucky thing for everyone else, though, is that because my voice is as deep as it is, it does not carry whenever there's like loud noises. So I'll just try and talk and no one can ever hear me. So they can all ignore me.
It's called selective hearing, Shogun. They can hear you. They just choose not to.
I was having my little... I was trying to give myself an excuse, okay?
I mean,
this bromance is going nowhere.
Hey, you started it over on the desk with Axel Toss.
I mean...
You hinted at it dying and kind of...
I was hoping that you would try harder, but instead you've just gone straight for my heart.
Yeah, that's what you do in a romance, right? Go straight for the heart?
Yeah, but you go for my heart with bouquets and chocolates, not this steak that you've just come at me with.
You love meat, don't lie to me.
I'm talking like a wooden steak, not a... If you're going to bring me a steak, my friend, I am not going to complain and you'll be my best friend again.
I told you, I know you, man.
So, MOCKIT. I tried to think of a segue there, it's not going to happen. Either way, Excel have got to try and find a way, and this is going to be the best way to start it off. Zenzus picking himself up a goal.
Yeah, a lot of it just having to do with these quick pass plays. You see one over the top, forcing that last defender to make a save. Not able to recover in time, but every single player on this Excel team up and ready to attack.
The perfect start to this matchup. MOCKIT finding themselves on the back foot almost immediately. They try and find a way back. Kickoff once again going over to the side of Excel. Who had the opportunity to try and put something together, but instead just going to force MOCKIT to play the ball around, and they have managed to waste some boost as well on the side of MOCKIT. Just getting in the corner for the time being. Zenzus looking for the set. Opponent's thinking better of moving forward, and I've got to say I do agree with that position. Going to try and continue to move forward. Almost got the block, but instead it's going to be down to the other end of the pitch. Now MOCKIT with their opportunity. It's going to be freaky. Has he got anyone to try and beat? Oh! Final second from Pondex, comes in and just yoinks the ball away.
Did you see where he took that aerial from? He came out of midfield for that.
Pondex will always trust in himself. And as he should do, taking that ball away at the final possible moment. MOCKIT still trailing in this match. Zenzus and Ferry Peak having a moment. See, why can't we have this, Lawler?
Because you won't play with me.
Not incorrect. Hey, some of us, you know, Grand Champ, don't want you to pull me down, man.
Hey, man, you had to Yummy carry you for a couple, so I'm just saying.
He didn't carry me for nothing, all right? I lost every game with him after that. Oh!
Yay! I love that. It's my favorite one.
It's the most tilting thing ever.
It's so bad, too, because you have these high-intense situations, and then you hear balloons and just the sound of children yelling, yay.
It's going to be how the World Championship ends. You know that, right?
Yeah, we're going to go into an even longer overtime, and it's just going to be like, yay! Just a culmination, and it comes down to that.
All tied up. MOCKIT bouncing back pretty quickly as well. So now Zen's going to follow up his own touch. Almost tried to take that past Freaky. Couldn't quite do it, though. Now Fairy Peak, long ball. Nielscook's going to try and play this one over to the corner, but it will be difficult to play with. And Nielscook holding himself on that side. Actually a very good way of trying to deal with that, considering we have complained and talked about in the past how to defend whilst facing your own net. Having someone to still pass to is a very good way of dealing with that situation. Yeah,
he played it really well into that corner, and it bounced just a little bit out to give Zensis the ability to doink it past. So using team effort to move that out, but this MOCKIT team definitely warmed up a bit. You can tell they're playing quite a bit faster. Even though the kickoffs are, in the most circumstances, going over in favor of Excel, it kind of favors them. They like that kind of 1-2 attack where they only send one and then they counter with more.
Excel just trying to be the first to everything right now, trying to outpace MOCKIT. But MOCKIT going to try and force those 50s every single time. Zensis will be there first. Codex has to try and read a difficult wall bounce and will not be able to do so. But Excel have managed to hold MOCKIT in this half for quite a long period of time now. Zensis playing it over to the side. Freaky gets it into the corner, but it will be followed up by Nielscook. She's going to play that one straight with the Freaky yet again. Now off that backboard, here is Ponex. Does end up missing it. It's going to be the chase down for Nielscook. He will get there, and it was shot was not on target.
Crucial clear from MOCKIT. The highest player of boost was Fairy Peak with 32, and the only other one was Patchy with 11. Otherwise, they were all out. You saw them kind of scrounging for those smaller boost pads.
Oh, it's going to be a shot. Goes off the crossbar yet again for MOCKIT. Just aim that a little bit lower, and they will... There have been like 3 more goals than they would have looked for this game.
Be a totally different story.
It's another long ball going to be played. Pone just trying to power it, but it will just go straight back over to MOCKIT, who have actually chosen to rotate back and choose the defense over trying to pressure the midfield. Ball now up high. Here comes Zensis. Taps it once. Will go to Freaky. But Nielscook is just loitering around, trying to find his gap to try and push through. It's going to be loose for a long period of time. Patchy can control. Just wants it out of his end. Freaky playing it up yet again. Still 1-1 with 1 minute remaining. Become a very quiet affair within the last few minutes. Ever since the scoring frenzy that we had to open us up.
It seems that both teams are a little bit more settled. Ponex going for trying to boost to clear out some of these rotations. Just both teams are able to spread it out.
Patchy was chilling out a little bit too much there. He just sort of stopped in the midfield for about 5 seconds. Luckily, he is now back. Maybe just pulled the USB out for a second there.
He's shown that he's not worried. You know, just taking his time, just keeping it chill. Fine.
Zensis for Nielscook, but he's going to take it inside by himself. A lot of individual plays coming out from both these teams that will not break down either of the defenses. Both these teams, they are solid enough to not be making those mistakes. Really is a match where you're going to have to try and force the mistakes rather than expecting them to happen, and we are going to hit overtime in game number 3.
Well, it's 2 times that you said the individual plays now, but Zensis is forcing these plays on his own rather than passing up to Nielscook, who's been in position both times for optional shots. Makes it very easily safe for this MOCKIT team as they push this back downfield, but the pressure is going to lead. No, that one stops out. Nielscook had a chance.
Off the post, and it was so close there for Excel. Ponex actually gets taken out of the rotation, even though he thought the ball was his. Now Nielscook off that backboard. Ponex going to start rotating, and it's an open net for him to aim for, but once again, MOCKIT can't beat the crossbar. Excel can't beat the post. It is PvE on Urban.
Oh, the ball's going to settle back down. Nielscook, a long pass up to Zensis, but starting to see this MOCKIT team. They're playing quite a bit faster, trying to match the pace, especially with overtime. Patchy's going to try to bring that in, brings it across one, but a save from Zensis followed up by Nielscook. With the immediate aggression, MOCKIT trying to do whatever they can to keep this pressure on the Excel side.
Actually thought he could catch Zentus out. He knew he was rotating back to his own net, but Zentus, such a crucial mid-air rotation. Here's Freaky with a shot, takes it past Ponex. That's that. Excel have dropped the second game.
They are no longer in the option for a top 2 spot. And we will most likely see these two play each other again next week. It's just a matter of who's going to get the better seeding.
Well, still work left to do, and for Gale Force, I believe the chance is still there. What was it, a 3% chance when we came in today?
It's not much.
It's not much, but still around.
Still around, but looking back at this match, a lot of it has to do with this MOCKIT team. They're not afraid to sit back and defend, just taking their time with counterattacks. And then as soon as it went into that overtime, we saw a different MOCKIT. You saw it especially on that back left corner where it just, I'm like, okay, Zensus has got this one. And then all of a sudden you see Fairy Peak fly out of nowhere and clear it downfield. So they're really starting to pick it up and contest this team at their own game.
The best way I can kind of describe MOCKIT in that game was the Snorlax in the very first Pokemon game you ever played. Just like, move, nah, move, nah. Okay, now I'm going to move and I'm going to go and score. I'm going to beat you.
Someone got a flute and was just like, all right, I got this.
Which one of them would, nah, none of them can play the flute. I'm guaranteed.
Not.
No one plays the flute. You'd just be glad that you didn't grow up in the UK. You'd have to learn how to play the recorder. The recorder is the worst instrument of all time.
We've only learned to play like hot cross buns on it. We had to do it in like
we learned
4th, 5th grade.
Free Blind Mice. That was it.
Maybe it was, I don't know. Either way, it was bad. Nobody, it's a recorder.
Why has no one used that as a Rocket League team name? Take that, Free Blind Mice.
It's pretty solid.
Just make sure you're not very good at the game, so it actually is kind of funny.
Or make it ironic.
Make it ironic.
Be really, really good at it.
RLRS, that's what I want to see next season, the Free Blind Mice. Only one team's going to get that as well, so whoever gets it first, I'm really hoping that they know how to play.
It's a freebie for you guys.
Game number 4. MOCKIT trying to take a big win for themselves when they're trying to build up momentum heading into next week's regional championships. But they need to try and break down this Excel team one more time. Shot can come in from Zentus, but easily picked up there by Fairy Peak. Now try to go for the follow-up, calling off his teammate. He'll call up high yet again. Freaky trying to get the setup. Oh, next though, be left by himself. Freaky getting bumped on the wall. Now the opportunity for the counter-attack for Excel. It'll be a bit late trying to set this up, but Freaky has now managed to rotate himself back just in time. Gets the ball set up. 2 players up in the air now. Ponex plays that one long. Fairy Peak gets beat by Ponex. Now the opportunity for the setup off the top. Just saved there by Freaky. Once again, the final man on the side of MOCKIT coming in and saving the ball.
Well, Fairy Peak and Pashy is starting to get that chemistry going as you see them pass it in field, but the defense of Excel doing a good job handling it on their own. But the pressure that it's taking, 2 players on this Excel team needed to clear it out almost every single time. Just allowing this MOCKIT team to go get boost and bring it all back.
Freaky just over the top. Niels Cook with the immediate challenge in the midfield. Another long ball that should not be followed up, and it will not be. MOCKIT, a familiar sight from them. Every single player back. Fairy Peak leaving the boost for his teammate. Just about 100 seconds into this matchup, still all tied up at 0-0. Because MOCKIT are just going for that slingshot defense. There's always someone ready to come and challenge. If Excel want any chance of trying to get past it, they either need a fantastic individual play or play the passes into the middle, get some direct gameplay going. Niels Cook with the block. Can't get it past Freaky though. There is a demo in the background, and Zentus will be forced to play. I'll take it all the way around the world. Now off that backboard will be a late follow-up from MOCKIT, trying to get the set. Still 2 players back though. MOCKIT refusing to commit. Now Fairy off that sidewall. Pwned. Wants to try and make this awkward. Didn't quite get the bounce that he wanted, but he still made something out of this. Nielsko gets 1 touch, going to try and get the block on the second. But Freaky, he has just been so defensively sound this series. There's going to be another opportunity this time. Pashy with the save, and Freaky sweeps it up, cleans the floor. And MOCKIT are back out of their half.
Seems like the roles have reversed between these 2 teams over the course of this series, where you now have this Excel team playing a bunch of defense, just trying to fight for their lives, as this MOCKIT team just starts pounding on shots.
Zentus could get the setup. So many times we're seeing Excel hold onto the ball. Niels Cook did have to win that instead. He's not only won the ball, he's picked up the goal.
Niels Cook coming in heavy on this one. You see Pondex fighting for that to bounce it out. And luckily for them, that pinch hits that corner, bounces straight out to Niels Cook, who can just put a good shot on net. There's nobody in net able to take the read and save it. They're up by 1. 2 minutes left in game number 4, just trying to fight for that game number 5.
Niels Cook still chasing up on that goal scorer of the season potential medal for himself. With shots like that, he's building the fantastic case for himself. Niels Cook now off that sidewall. Opponents can take control. He's kept it set up for himself. Trying to just force MOCKIT members to move. Unfortunately, MOCKIT usually so well organized that they will not budge. But this is a position that MOCKIT do usually tend to struggle from. So good at playing from in front, but usually struggle so much more when it comes to playing from behind, as we saw last week against Method, where they were going a goal down almost immediately and just didn't seem to know how to react to it.
Well, it's good for them that they're able to make those changes. First game definitely wasn't their favor, a huge score margin of 3 in difference. But they bounced back and came with a solid one right after that. But now it is Excel's time, seeing if they can come back and bring it to game number 5, as Pondex is going to bring it past 1. And another one with that quick flick over Pashy. Cook going for the upside down air dribble, trying to get it, win a 50-50, and it plays right into the corner.
Ferry off that wall. He does beat Pones. MOCKIT going to be second to the midfield challenge, though still trailing with 40 seconds remaining. Gonna need to start fighting one another. Pashy, he's gonna play that one straight down. Freaky takes out the man, but cannot get to the ball in time. And now Pondex can follow up his own clear, and he is gonna turn it in. Popcorn reigns supreme, and Excel could be forcing a game 5.
I wonder what kind of popcorn it is.
I was not spicy popcorn.
So according to Gibbs, it's always spicy, because it's Rocket League we're watching.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate.
It's an unfortunate meme that he's trying to push right there.
Also, have to correct myself. Excel can still get top 2. They just have the unlikely event of sweeping Method.
Okay, well, still plenty of work left to go. So we have managed to give them an opportunity back. Freaky gonna take the shot. Pashy takes out the man! Diving forward, head first, shoulder into the abdomen, take him out.
As soon as that ball landed at midfield, he just immediately beelines back, goes for the aerial hit. There was nothing else on Pashy's mind other than that bump.
I think MOCKIT just heard us and went, oh, they've got a chance still? Okay.
Well, with the 10 seconds left, there's still an opportunity.
One more chance to go. Pashy gets it up. Very Peak with the flick. That's going to be a difficult touch for him to try and follow. Does get it off that sidewall. Freaky is around as an option. Pashy needs to play in the midfield, but no, Pondex gets there before, and Excel take the win. Championship potential still there for them.
Good play at the end as well. Pondex just not leaving anything to chance. That play pulled in the midfield, just hits it as fast as it can, as far as it can, away from anybody else. But yet again, Niels Cook, the difference maker. 4 shots on net and a save. Both and everybody pretty much getting involved on that team. It just, for what seemed at the beginning, MOCKIT really controlling the pace, they turned it around roughly about that halfway mark and stopped it out from there.
Yeah, but MOCKIT still, it's the same story for them. And I feel like, as much as it is a strength, it's also a huge weakness, which is a case of, yes, they're a defensive squad, but unless the game goes perfectly in the way that they want it to be played, they definitely struggle. Only 2 shots coming out for them in that game, in a game where they spent a decent portion of the time behind. Enough time for them to really just sort of figure out, okay, we got to start moving now.
Yeah, it was weird. They just seem, like you said, they have trouble with adversity, where when things don't go their way, it's just something about the team that just kind of falls apart. They don't have that kind of cohesion or that speed that they've seen in the past. And except for when we saw it in that one game where Fairy Peak and the rest were starting to beat others to the ball. It just doesn't seem to suit their play style. They prefer to wait, be a little bit more passive, and then counterattack as a team. Unless you see weird options turn up where Pashy just gets to turn around and go for a bump, which I don't think you can count on that every single time. I just don't think it's it's not plausible. It's not a thing that you should rely on. If you want to go for aggressive plays, by all means, Pashy, but doing it in that kind of circumstance, don't count on it. Probably wouldn't recommend it.
Well, for Excel, it all comes down to this. Game number 5 in a match that they must win if they want to keep their pressure up on Method. Those 2 teams will be taking each other on later on today. Now the ball off that side wall almost immediately. As Ponex with the follow-up. Freaky gets it up high. Will be slowly followed up there by Pashy, trying to get it past the first player on the challenge. Early pressure now going over to MOCKIT. They want to try and control those two middle boosts. Pashy prioritizing, gets the ball up high. Freaky's going to be a very tough touch for him. Zentus goes for the underneath the car shot and just rolls the ball straight towards the MOCKIT end, but now we're down to the other end of the pitch. Here's Pashy with the shot, turns it into the net.
A lot of that all because of the setup from that player leading the charge. You see him coming here, a clear desperately needed by Ponex. Doesn't matter, Freaky's there to dunk it away, and then Niels Cook's just in an awkward position on that back wall. Doesn't know if he should jump after it or what, but probably should have committed to it. Needed to buy some time for that last man to come back into rotation and give him some more options.
Freaky won that so easily that calling it a challenge would be disrespectful.
He was all over, to say the least.
Now off that backboard, it would be very difficult for MOCKIT to try and follow up. Here is Pashy just trying to put some preemptive pressure. There's another shot. Niels Cook has to get a save. Zentus can't push into the corner, but you can already see Fairy Peak has got himself lined up. Great pass from there, and Pashy will pick up his second.
You talk about Fairy Peak being all ready for that one. He's just sitting there waiting for those two to take a touch, and as soon as they both expend their ability, plays it right back into the middle, towards the middle for his teammate. Pashy comes swooping in and takes a beautiful shot on net.
I love how well Fairy Peak read that play. Just all over it, predicted it all the way down to where it would land on his bumper. So now it's all for Excel to do.
It's one of those situations where in the lower level Rocket League and below, people finally are like, all right, I can hit the ball, I must hit the ball. Fairy Peak's showing exactly why you don't have to every time. Just chill, wait for people to make mistakes, and then attack.
See, Lolly, you're finally coming across to my way of thinking.
Do nothing?
Do nothing, let everyone else get it wrong.
Man, I've played against you. I've seen the do nothing work.
It works well. That's going to be Pwned. There goes Pwned.
Did we just fix ranked after Squishy ruined it with the Proteus? Now everybody's just going to sit there and do nothing?
It's my job in life, Lawler. I will always fix Squishy Muffin's mistakes when it comes to this community. I do love the boy, though.
We love you, Squishy.
I love it, but only you are allowed to do these things, okay? Fairy Peak, playing it long. Gonna get straight to Pashy. Pashy looking for Fairy Peak yet again. Great team play coming up from MOCKIT. It's like they've taken everything they got wrong in game number 4, and they have fixed it within the space of 60 seconds.
Oh, there's another save for Niels Cook. He is in the top 5 for that statistic as well, padding the stats. But like you stated, this MOCKIT team just seems to figure everything out. They're putting on the pressure, the rotations are clean, they're moving extremely fast. And any little mistakes are going to give them opportunities. Pashy trying to go for the double tap, just misses out.
Pashy's got the opportunity for the shot, goes straight into the middle. Needed some more accuracy with the follow-up, otherwise he could have had himself the hat trick. His second hat trick of this series. Just 2 players up for MOCKIT, trying to go for the follow, but Excel very late with shadowing players. Kind of surprised that they're going to be doing that considering how far down they are in this matchup. Just how much this matchup means to them as well. Because they still need to find themselves 2 goals in 2 minutes in order for them to try and look for that second place. Once again, 2 becoming the main number.
It just seems to be that MOCKIT is beating this Excel team at their own game as Pashy has seemed to finally conquer the boss. That is that crossbar.
And speaking of the number 2, that is going to be Pashy's second hat trick of this series. Finding the upper 90, putting that one straight in. Hitting the post and the crossbar, just as a way of going, I can beat both of these.
Got to get over that fear sometime. Way to do it there, Pashy. Up 3-0, 2 minutes left on the clock. MOCKIT just trying to really put this one away. Solidify that they should not be taken lightly moving into the regional championships next week. Fairy Peak gonna play that one down off the wall and pass immediately back out to Freaky. But well defended by Excel.
Excel got to get something almost immediately. Only 90 seconds for them to try and rescue this matchup. But MOCKIT showing a new side of themselves, showing a side that we didn't know was there. And for every team watching this, if MOCKIT play like this next week, they are serious contenders.
You can't count them out. It's just something we haven't seen from them so far this season. This clean, everybody being where they need to. Positioning is on point. The shots, obviously, not always the best, but it's kind of reminiscent of PSG. Sometimes PSG makes mistakes, but they play so quickly and so cleanly that they're able to make up for those mistakes.
4 goals is the difference. Excel trying to make it free. They will do so. Ponex bringing them back by 1.
Still a big mountain to climb, but a step in the right direction. As everybody getting involved. Probably would have been better if Zensus just would have put that in right away, missing that shot. But luckily his teammates are there to back him up.
But when you're 4 goals down, even the extra second that took could end up being crucial. MOCKIT still comfortable in this matchup. They will not get the clean sheet. They've still got plenty of goals to use as cushions. It's going to be Pashi, going to take it over the top. Pashi is on fire.
You know, you mentioned it, something about this MOCKIT team, how when things go according to plan and how they want them to go, they look phenomenal. And you're seeing a taste of it right here, what they're truly capable of.
Pashi up to 5 goals in this game. That ties the record, I do believe, for this season for most goals in a single matchup. He is 1 goal away from taking it. Most goals in a single game throughout every time has been held by Cooks here for a very long time at this point. No one's ever going to beat him. I think that's like 9 or 7. It's one of those odd numbers.
Way too many.
Way too many. Something that should not be reached. Played long yet again. Very peak. It's a setup, but Zensus plays the ball away. Ricky once again. 2 players up in the air for MOCKIT. At this point, they know that they've got this one in the bag. There's Pashi with the set yet again, but that is going to be over to Niels Cook. And for Excel, this is going to mean the end of their championship hopes, at least for this week. And with Fairy Peak turning that one in, it's going to be the taunting goal, yay.
Just seems to be that they're getting carried away here, just one after another. Looking forward into next week, obviously MOCKIT, both of these teams have secured top 2, or not top 2, top 6, and have a very high chance of playing each other next week. It just depends on how Gale Force and everybody else kind of ends up, but still, MOCKIT showing what they are truly capable of, and a lot of it because of that man flipping around with that red boost. Pashi just going off.
And he did this back in, I believe it was week 2? Week 1, actually, where he just had a couple of phenomenal series for himself. He's going to come out again this week, stepping up, a hat-trick in 1 game, 5 goals in this game, and they will slay Excel. MOCKIT take them down.
Great turn of adversity for this MOCKIT team, showing that, you know what, sometimes we are from behind, but we can really come out strong. Both their games in winning, dominating fashion. Obviously, the first one starting off with 3-0, but still slowed it down a little bit, started to have to play that catch-up speed of Excel, and then as soon as it hit about game 4, they really recognized, like, you know what, we can beat these guys with the ball every time, and they showed that to the fullest extent in this last match of the day.
Well, sometimes you can just sit back, watch, and just have a download session. Check out what the other team's doing, see if you can figure out how to beat them, and game 4, MOCKIT didn't really do much. I think they were saving it all for this game.
It was kind of like a wind-up. Like, they're just sitting there like, okay, we're going to wait. Okay, go. Ready, go. And then everybody just went full pace, and their batteries didn't run out until it was okay.
No, certainly didn't. Pashi coming out with 5 goals.
It's insane.
In 1 matchup.
5 goals on 6 shots, too. Like, his accuracy wasn't like he put in a ton of shots on net. It's just, he was on point.
And for that first game, it was 3 goals for 3 shots.
Yeah.
So he is finding the target, but it's the fact that his team is creating those opportunities for themselves. They are doing such a great job of starting to play that ball around. So, in order to go down deep into how MOCKIT managed to take this series, we're going to hand back over to Axel Toss and the desk.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Pretty good series there, all the way to 5 games. Very close, very back and forth, but MOCKIT ultimately getting the victory there in Game 5, setting up a rematch next week in the regional championships, and we're more or less figuring things out here, as I think, you know, 4 through 8 in the standings are pretty locked in. We're just worried about those top 3 spots right now. But let's take a look at the Mobile One high-performance replay from that match. A lot of great things from both teams, but MOCKIT ultimately in Game 5 came down to that, and they just would not take losing as an option.
Yeah, I mean, even in game number 1, it was pretty close until the final minute or so when the XL really started to run away with it. But this one was so close. It was neck and neck the majority of the way. I thought Pashi was clearly the MVP of this series, knocking in 8 out of the 13 goals, tying the complete amount of goals that Excel scored in the entire series.
Yeah, you saw up until game 4, these teams were tied in how many goals they had scored. They each scored 7 over the course of those 4 games, and then it was that game 5 just blowing them out 6-1. Pesci, people have been having questions. Is Pesci, starting to have on the decline? He didn't have a great offseason, didn't have a great season 3, but here in season 4, his team has really stepped up, and here he himself had a monumental performance against Excel.
You said it. Pesci really just being the captain of that team, but this was by no means a walk in the park for MOCKIT. We're guaranteed a matchup. These teams, they're guaranteed that 4-5 seed. So MOCKIT, if they lose the secret, they might be their seed might flip, seed. But them and Excel aren't guaranteed to be that 4-5 seed area. So we will see them, like you said, Axel, a rematch at the EU Championship. But in this series, well done to MOCKIT, and if you're a GFE fan, your hopes are still alive.
Yeah, absolutely.
About 1% chance to start the day, and in order for GFE to make the top 2 spot, they'll need Excel to sweep Method 3-0. So it's going to be a little bit of a long shot, but it's going to make that series fun to watch.
Yeah, it certainly will be. And this was a great series. Can't wait to watch it again in the regional championship.
Yep. Yeah, we are about halfway through the day here, everyone. We are 3 matches down with 3 to go. A nice 5-game series there. MOCKIT taking out Excel. They're both playing, both these teams are playing a little later. MOCKIT against Secret is the second to last match of the day. And the last match of the day, as James was mentioning, Method versus Excel. But coming up next, we're going to take a short break here on twitch.tv/Rocket League. We have PSG, the lone undefeated team in the European region. They're going to try to keep that streak alive against Envy, who's locked in at number 7, but going to try to pull off the upset. We'll be right back.